If you have problems with tennis, we have a perfect tennis warm-up for you where we're moving through the thoracic spine, we're moving through the hips, and we're also moving through our ankles. Those are the areas that we need mobility. So we're gonna demonstrate it right here. So sparking up the muscles in the ankles is really important when we're trying to get a little bit extra mobility. We need muscle pump going. So go ahead, we're gonna walk on our toes for 10 steps, just firing up those muscles. She's getting there 10 total steps, and then now she's going on the heels, walking back. Feels awkward, looks a little funny, but works really well. And then she's coming up here. We're gonna work on our hips now. So she's dropping into the world's greatest stretch. This hand is down in front of her knee. So we want the elbow in front of the knee. And she's gonna drop her elbow a little bit in, driving her groin down, pushing her knee forward, squeezing that back glute. Rock hard right there. Squeezing the back glute as good as she can. Now, we're gonna do that for 5 seconds, then she's gonna rotate towards me. That thumb's coming up and she's looking at that thumb. So you see how her lower back stays in a neutral position. All that motion is coming through her thoracic spine right here, firing up her shoulder blade stabilizers, but she's got her glutes still fired up. Now she's gonna put this hand on top of this knee and she's gonna shoot up like a torpedo right there and switch legs. So she's dropping down inside the left knee, dropping her groin down, pushing it forward. She's getting a groin stretch on both sides, getting a hip flexor stretch on her right side, squeezing that back glute. And then now she's rotating towards the knee, thumb up. And then she's pulling that shoulder blade down while she does that. Pulling the shoulder blade down, she holds that for 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, 5 seconds, puts the hand down on the knee and comes back up. Now let's do one more round, drop down into it. We're gonna do 2 steps with this one. This one's really important. You wanna get a little bit of a sweat going while we're doing this. So she squeezes for 5 seconds, rotates towards the knee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then she's coming up out of it. Good. And so she's squeezing that back glute. Always remember we want to squeeze that back glute. That stabilizes our back right here. Now she's rotating towards the left side, towards that knee, looking at that thumb, squeezing the shoulder blade down. She's away from her ears right there. And then she's pushing up now. Good. And then now last thing she's going to do is she's firing up the glutes and she's doing a hip hinge. So she's going to do 5 hip hinges. When she does this, her face stays in line with her chest right here. She's reaching back with her butt, firing up her hamstrings. And then she's gonna step out using her foot. She wants to squash the bug. She's driving out 3 steps, driving out the other way. So 5 hip hinges, and then she's gonna drive out going the other way. Now you can do 2 rounds of this, you can do 1 round of it. What we wanna do is make it really efficient. So she's using all the right muscles, and then she's over-exaggerating a little bit when she's driving out. We never wanna step underneath ourselves while we're playing any sports. We wanna drive out using those glute muscles. So she warmed up the ankles, she warmed up her plantar flexors pushing off, she warmed up her anterior tib pulling back. That's a challenging one that's actually fun. And then she did the world's greatest stretch. She did 2 steps with each side. That sequence has 2 parts. And then she did 5 hip hinges. And then she drives out using those glutes. So she's driving out, does her 5 hip hinges, firing up those glutes. The face stays in line with the chest. And then she's driving out and going the other way. Typically they do about 3 steps when they do that. And so now she's hit all the joints that she wants to. The last thing, whether we're playing pickleball or we're playing tennis, we need to over-exaggerate our swing. We're not tennis coaches. We just know what the body needs to do, what the biomechanics are. But with the tennis coaches that we work with, they always want to over-exaggerate their swing. When you're having an elbow problem, it's because we're using the elbow too much. We need to use the bigger muscle groups in the body. That's in between our shoulder blades and at our hips. So those first 10 swings, we're stepping through and we squash the bug with that back leg. So we're stepping through and pushing. The hips are doing everything. All I'm doing is getting 10 swings going each way. So I'll do the same thing coming the other way, because what am I gonna have to do with the other side is I'm gonna have to do a backhand and spin through. So you can go ahead and adjust, but we're exaggerating using those hips. So we're gonna do 10 swings going each way. If you want a good warm-up routine, it has to include the thoracic spine, getting mobility and firing up these shoulder blade muscles in the back. We've got to get the hips fired up, use the muscles, and then also exaggerate that push off so that it becomes unconscious while we're playing. And then also our ankles. We need mobility in our ankles. We need to be able to bend our ankle, get a lot of dorsiflexion through it, because when we're running, that keeps pressure off of our knees. So we want to do that routine, and we do it every time we play tennis. When we do golf, there's a variation of it, but it's hip mobility, it's thoracic mobility, it's getting those muscles fired up, getting blood flow to them. We don't want to do a lot of static stretching before we go play a sport, because then we're decreasing some of that tensile strength around those joints. We want more, a little bit of stiffness. We want blood flow in those areas, and then we want to be able to be mobile through the thoracic spine, the hips, and the ankles. Make sure we're firing up those muscles, and then get to your fundamentals of your sport. Make sure that we're exaggerating and using the biggest muscle groups that we can so that we don't end up having injuries. If you do that consistently, you're going to stay out of a PT office, stay out of the doctor's office, and keep yourself on the court. If you want more videos about this, leave us a comment. Let us know what you need videos about, or if you need a little bit deeper of an explanation of what we're doing, make sure that you check our videos. If you have a back pain problem, if you have a knee pain problem, make sure you check our videos on that. Get mobile and stay active.